Hello! Welcome to Essay Nights, the Essay Slayers. My name is Julie and I will be your instructor as we read through Mitch Albom, the influence of his life on his works. The article source is embedded in the video description below. Feel free to read along. Please note that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay for as little as $10 a page at Essay Nights. The link is in the description. Contents 1. Introduction 2. Mitch Albom's biography 3. Mitch Albom's main works 4. Conclusion 5. Bibliography. Introduction. The process of writing is very complicated and it is always interesting to know what make people write, what inspire them and what influence their writing. Obviously, a good writer is very dependable on his or her inspiration, but this notion seems to be quite abstract and often it is possible to trace the impact of much more trivial things influencing a writer's work. As a rule, a writer's life is the main source for inspiration and probably the most influential factor which defines literary his or her works. In fact, in many cases it is possible to say that literary work of a writer is the reflection of his or her life and events that occurred in it which produced a significant impact on the writer's personality, his views and beliefs, as it happened to Mitch Albom, an outstanding contemporary writer, whose life experience is reflected in such works of his as The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, Tuesdays with Morrie, Feb 5. Mitch Albom's biography. Mitch Albom is a contemporary American writer, who is also well known as a gifted sport reporter. He was born in New Jersey in 1958 but he was raised in Philadelphia where he spent most of his youth. In 1979 he graduated from Brandeis University where he earned his Bachelor of Arts degree and where he got acquainted with his professor Morrie Suckwurz, the main character of Tuesdays with Morrie, one of the main works of the writer. Later he graduated from Columbia University and earned the master degrees in journalism and business administration. However, before entering the world of journalism, he was an amateur boxer and nightclub singer and pianist, Blackburn 2001-139. For over 10 years he has been one of the most respected sports writers and commentators. As a sport journalist he wrote articles for such newspapers as the Philadelphia Inquirer and the Detroit Free Press, where he worked since 1985 until his reunion with Morrie in 1995, Blackburn 2001-191. Albom also has his own nationally syndicated radio show, Monday Sports Albom. The author has won many awards, among which may be named awards from AP, UPI, Headliners Club, and the National Sports Writers and Broadcasters Association, Blackburn. His works has appeared in numerous national and international publications. As for his literary career, it should be said that he is the author of 8 books, including Live Albom I, 1987, Live Albom II, 1990, Live Albom III, 1992, Live Albom IV, 1995, Bo, the autobiography of Bo Schembechler, co-written with Schembechler, Feb 5. But the work that has made him really popular is Tuesdays with Morrie that propelled Albom to literary superstardom, Stewart 2215, as well as his latest work The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, which is to a significant extent autobiographical. At the same time, it should be pointed out practically all of his works are based on his own life experience and depicts the life of the author and his thoughts as well as of those people he knew well and respected a lot. Mitch Albom's main works. Speaking about works written by Mitch Albom, it is necessary to say that though they are not very numerous they are still quite interesting and noteworthy because they are closely related to the real life and author's personal experience and feelings. In fact, they make a reader feel as if the author involves him or her in his own life and reveals his feelings and thoughts that disturb us as well as he raises problems he is particularly concerned about. Probably, it would be better to start with a work that has brought him nationwide fame, Tuesdays with Morrie, which is as tragic and complicated as the real life only can be. In this work the author recalls how the political controversies of 1970s affected his and Morrie's years at Brandeis University. Following the national withdrawal from the Vietnam War in 1973, and former President Nixon's resignation from office in 1974, the Brandeis campus, as many other college campuses nationwide, was a hotbed for political debate and protest. Book in Camp 1999-304. Continuing the thread of racial tension in Tuesdays with Morrie is a story Morrie tells about an incident in which he had acted as a negotiator between the university president and a group of black students who felt that they were being oppressed by the school administration. Book in Camp 1999-311. In fact, the book is based on the conversations of the author with his of Lou Gehrig's disease. The novel is an emotional portrait of a life lived and a guide to how the life should be lived. Within the book, Mitch Albom realizes that he lived his life in vain and he looks for meaning of life in conversations with his professor, Morrie Schwartz, which being extremely close to death he teaches the author what is the meaning of life. Morrie teaches him to reject the corrupt mores endorsed by popular culture in favor of personal, ethical system of values, Bay 2002-284. In such a way Morrie rebels against popular cultural norms and appeals to higher moral values. To a certain extent similar to Morrie, is Albom's brother, Peter, who suffers from cancer and, being separated from the rest of the family, does not want to re-establish normal relations with Mitch and other members of the family. But Mitch has learned the Morrie's principle, love or perish, and despite his fierce independence and refusal of help, Peter also needs the love of friends and family to survive his cancer. Book in Camp 1999-335. In such a way the author indicates what an influence his acquaintance with Morrie Schwartz has produced on his entire life, his views and moral values. At this respect the book seems to be a kind of confession which tends to teach other people what their life should be on the basis of his own life experience. The latest novel The 5 People You Meet in Heaven is also based on Albom's life experience and is significantly influenced by the circumstances of his life and its political and social trends. The book centers on an 83-year-old wounded war veteran who was killed in a tragic accident. He soon discovers that heaven isn't merely a destination but a place where 5 people help the deceased understand the significance and value of their life on Earth. Bay 2000-399. The main character of the book, Eddie, also looks for the meaning of life, for he feels trapped in a meaningless life of fixing rides at a seaside amusement park. Quite symbolically he sacrifices his life for the sake of a girl's life which he attempts to save from a falling cart. On the heaven he meets 5 people that have changed his life forever and who explain his life for him. One by one, Eddie's 5 people illuminate the unseen connections of his earthly life. Bay 2000-317. Gradually he learns about the interrelationship of all lives, about sacrifice, the everlasting value of love, the poisonous of lingering anger, and, finally, how his daily routine had in fact fulfilled his life's intended purpose of keeping Ruby Pierre's ride safe, and a source of joy, for generations of children. Obviously the main point of this story is to assist those like Eddie in the book and Albom's real-life uncle, also named Eddie, to whom the book is dedicated, who feel their life unimportant, to realize that their lives really have an importance. It can be said that the value of his fable-like story is the insights it imparts about life and the meaning of sacrifice. Bay 2000-356, especially concerning the people who came through a war as Eddie, both fictional and real uncle, did. As for Fab 5, it should be said that to a certain extent the book is less moralistic as the two discussed above. Nonetheless it is not less influenced by the author's life experience. The book was written earlier than the two analyzed above and basically it is about Michigan University basketball team known as Fab 5. The Fab 5 were a group of players that were completely dominant players who played in 1992-93 season, Stewart 2381. Actually it is quite natural that Albom, having a great experience as a sports writer and journalist, turns to this team story. Conclusion: thus, taking into consideration all above mentioned, it is possible to conclude that Mitch Albom, as any other writer, used his life experience in his literary works. Moreover, his books were based on his own life experience and some of them, such as Tuesdays with Morrie, are to a certain extent autobiographical. On analyzing some of his works, it is possible to say that all of them reflect the author's life, its political and social reality and views and beliefs of the writer shaped under the influence of the whole society and some special people in particular, like Morrie. This is why, it is obvious that willingly or not, or probably consciously or unconsciously, writers' literary work is shaped by their life experience. Bibliography 1. Bay, H. 2002. Mitch Albom's works. New York, Touchstone 2. Blackburn, R. 2001. Mitch Albom, Biography. L.A., Routledge. 3. Buchenkamp, S.R., 1999. Contemporary American Writers. Berkeley, University of California Press. 4. Stewart, L. 2000. Mitch Albom. New York, McGraw-Hill. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you enjoyed learning about Mitch Albom, the influence of his life on his works as much as I did. Kindly remember that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay at Essay Nights for as little as $10. The link is in the description. See you next time.